Did you know that 99% of people fail the universe's final exam? Carl Jung suggested the collective unconscious primes us for profound change through events that look random, but actually follow an ancient inherited pattern. If you're watching this exact video, you could be among the 1% poised to pass that exam. It's possible your soul already understands what your conscious mind has not. You may be inside the final test right now, the ultimate trial the universe gives only to souls ready to receive what they truly deserve. This isn't an ordinary test. It separates those who skim life's surface from those who explore the depths of their being. It distinguishes people who accept leftovers from those meant for genuine abundance. Many mistake preparation for punishment when in truth they are being readied. Recognizing these signals is how you move through this phase without losing yourself. In this video, I'll outline 7 signs of the universe's final test, markers only the most prepared souls can spot. If you see yourself in several of them, you're closer to claiming what you deserve than you think. Watch through to the end. This could be the moment everything clicks. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. First, understand that the universe and the psyche are linked. Your outer life mirrors your inner state. Jung called this synchronicity, external happenings that seem unconnected by cause, but carry deep symbolic meaning for those who notice them. There's a further point. The universe doesn't react to your wants. It responds to your soul's frequency. Whenever your soul is ready for an evolutionary jump, a higher level of consciousness, a new life chapter, a different reality, you must be tested. The universe examines your integrity, your coherence, and whether your actions line up with what you claim to want. It's not only about deserving change, but being energetically prepared to sustain it. The final test appears when the universe needs assurance you won't repeat old patterns. That's why it reintroduces the same triggers, the familiar destructive temptations, the same empty places, not to punish you, but to verify, not to check whether you're flawless, but to measure whether you are attentive. If you can't make sense of what's happening, you'll assume you're being undermined, when in truth you're undergoing refinement. Carl Jung himself experienced this kind of trial. You realize that he endured one of the 20th century's most profound spiritual transformations, precisely when everyone rejected him. When he split from Freud, he lost more than an intellectual partner. He became discredited, mocked, and isolated. His career appeared ruined. It was in that abyss that something began to surface from within him. Jung entered an intense period of inner exploration, compulsively recording dreams, symbols, images, and inner conversations that arrived like visions. For years he surrendered to that solitary work, unsure whether he was falling into madness or finding illumination. That process produced the now famous Red Book, a private journal in which he bravely recorded every fragment of his descent into the soul's depths. In it, Jung wrote something few fully grasp. What lies outside me is also inside, and what is inside manifests in the outer world. That line holds the core of our discussion. The universe doesn't place tests outside of you to affect you internally. Instead, it manifests outwardly what your soul is already prepared to confront within. So when everything begins to fall apart, relationships, plans, certainties, it isn't necessarily punishment. It is a summons. You have stepped into a new phase of life, a stage where only truth will be accepted. The 7 signs I'm about to outline are not random coincidences. They are spiritual markers, and only souls in the process of ascending can recognize them. The first sign that you're undergoing the universe's final test is a persistent sense of being observed and judged in every action. This isn't paranoia or fantasy. It's a subtle, continual awareness that a higher intelligence, unseen but felt, is noting every choice you make. You notice it when you wake with an unusual sense that the day will be different, even though nothing obvious has changed. You notice it when a small decision, like what to eat or which route to take, suddenly feels weightier than it should. It's as if an invisible lens is trained on your life, watching not only what you do, but how and why you do it. Carl Jung described a synchronicity between the inner and outer worlds that intensifies during deep transformation. What you're sensing is not coincidence. It's the universe assessing your capacity to stay conscious and intentional, even when you don't fully grasp the surrounding circumstances. Most people operate on autopilot, reacting to external triggers without realizing each reaction is a choice that shapes their reality. But you aren't ordinary. You've cultivated the sensitivity to notice when you're being tested. That awareness alone indicates you are prepared for higher planes of existence. This sense of being observed should not feel oppressive. It should feel invigorating. It's as if a dormant part of you has awakened and can now perceive layers of reality that were previously hidden. You sense that your words carry more consequence, that your gestures create ripples in the energetic field around you, and that your presence affects others in new ways. When you're being put through the ultimate test, the universe sharpens your perceptual faculties so you can navigate this passage consciously. It's as if you've been given an inner radar that senses the importance of moments others would easily overlook. You realize you're being tested because your soul recognizes the distinct nature of this experience. The second sign is that you begin encountering a series of situations that appear designed to challenge your emotional limits and your ability to stay centered. These are not coincidences. They are carefully arranged scenarios created to determine whether you've truly integrated the lessons you believe you've learned. It might come as a disagreement with someone close, touching on issues you thought you had already resolved. Or it could be a professional challenge that pushes you to display the confidence you've been developing. Sometimes it's a test of patience when you're eager to move faster, or a test of persistence when progress feels stalled. These situations aren't random. They're tailored to you, shaped by your past experiences, wounds, habits, and current capacity to face challenges. It's as though the universe keeps a detailed record of your journey and presents personalized final exams to confirm whether your growth is genuine or merely memorized. What makes these tests unique is that they measure more than resilience. They assess your wisdom, your ability to respond instead of react, and your skill in maintaining a higher state of awareness even when you're tempted to fall back into old patterns. They challenge you to remain aligned with your deepest truth, even when it brings discomfort, rejection, or misunderstanding. Carl Jung explained that the individuation process requires us to face our shadow repeatedly, each time on a deeper level. The ultimate test is proving that you not only recognize your shadow, but also have the mastery to integrate it consciously instead of being ruled by it. When you go through these personalized trials, something powerful takes place. You notice your reactions are no longer automatic. A pause emerges, a space between stimulus and response, where you can consciously decide how to act. This pause signals that you are operating at a higher level of awareness. The third sign is experiencing an unusual acceleration in the manifestation of thoughts and intentions. It feels as if the universe has shortened the gap between what you think or feel and what appears in your reality. But this speed has a purpose: to test your mental and emotional discipline. When you're being prepared to receive what you truly deserve, the universe ensures you can handle the power of manifestation responsibly. By accelerating the process, it allows you to directly observe the link between your inner state and outer experience. You'll notice that when you focus on the positive, related opportunities arrive faster. Yet if you dwell on fear or negativity, those too show up with unusual speed. It's as though the universe is saying, "You want to co-create your reality? Then show me you can take full responsibility for every thought, feeling, and intention you send out." This acceleration can initially feel unsettling. You might feel as if you're in a car that suddenly gained far more power. The same force that can take you swiftly to your destination can also lead to accidents if you don't learn to handle it skillfully. People going through this stage often report experiences they once thought impossible, coincidences that feel orchestrated, meetings that happen at just the right time, or solutions that appear from nowhere. But the same acceleration can also bring unwanted outcomes, especially when heavy emotions take control of their energy. The universe is showing you that once you receive what you truly deserve, you must step into the role of a conscious co-creator of reality. And conscious co-creators cannot be careless with their inner world. Every thought becomes a seed. Every emotion becomes fertile ground. Every intention becomes a creative force. The fourth sign is a growing sense of isolation, not because you lack people around you, but because you sense yourself vibrating at a frequency different from most. It feels as if you're tuned to a radio station that few others can hear, creating the impression of living between two worlds. This isolation isn't a punishment, it's preparation. The universe is separating you energetically from influences that might interfere with your transformation. You begin to notice that conversations once meaningful now feel empty. Places you used to enjoy start draining your energy. People who were part of your circle seem to live in an entirely different reality. Carl Jung referred to this as the differentiation process, where the psyche moves away from collective influences to find its true expression. You're not turning antisocial. You're becoming more selective with your energetic bonds, guided by the sensitivity to recognize what nourishes your soul and what depletes it. This isolation is also a test of your ability to draw strength and validation from within without relying on external approval. The universe wants to know if you can maintain your higher frequency even when no one else understands your changes. It seeks to confirm whether you can trust your inner truth even when it goes against the majority view. During this phase, you may feel as though you live inside a transparent bubble. You see the world and engage with it, but something in your relationship to everything has shifted. You realize you can no longer pretend to care about things that don't align with your soul. You can no longer hold on to relationships based only on convenience or habit. This period of isolation is temporary but essential. It is the universe creating the energetic space for you to fully embody the new version of yourself that is emerging. When this phase ends, you'll engage with the world in a new way, more genuine, more powerful, and more aligned with your true nature. The fifth sign is that you start receiving insights, ideas and inspiration through sources you can't fully explain logically. It feels as though an inner antenna has been switched on, allowing you to pick up signals that previously went unnoticed. This may come through vivid dreams, intuitions that later prove correct, or knowledge that seems to appear without prior experience. This opening of intuitive channels is not random. It's the universe testing your capacity to engage with life, not only through logic, but also through wisdom that goes beyond reason. As you prepare to receive what you truly deserve, you need to build the ability to make decisions with a deeper sense of awareness. You may find yourself understanding people before they speak, sensing the atmosphere of a place before entering, or having instincts about events that later prove accurate. This isn't a supernatural gift. It's the natural growth of abilities we all possess, though only a few consciously develop them. Jung noted that the collective unconscious carries humanity's wisdom, and during times of transformation, our connection to this source becomes stronger. What you're experiencing is closer access to this ancestral knowledge, which can guide you more effectively than logic on its own. This process can initially feel unclear or even unsettling. You may doubt whether this information is real or worry about trusting it. But the universe is teaching you that to receive everything you deserve, you'll need to navigate the unknown. For that, you require an inner compass that works even when external maps are absent. The real test is learning to balance rational thought with intuition, valuing both logic and the insights that arise from deeper awareness. Those who can bring these two forms of knowledge together become strong navigators of life and conscious co-creators of their path. The sixth sign is that you begin to face a series of endings and closures, happening across different areas of your life. Relationships may come to a close, projects may conclude, and cycles may finish, leaving you with the sense of a profound cleansing. This is not by chance. It is the universe making space for what is about to unfold. These endings are not always easy. They may involve painful separations, difficult farewells, or the conclusion of long-standing situations. Yet each ending is carefully aligned to remove what no longer fits with the new version of you that is emerging. The challenge here is your ability to release without holding on, to close cycles with appreciation rather than resentment, and to view endings as necessary releases rather than destructive losses. The universe seeks to know if you can create space for the new without clinging to the old. Jung understood that personal transformation always requires a symbolic death of the old self before the new self can fully emerge. These endings represent that symbolic death in your external world. You are literally finishing chapters so a new story can begin. During this time, it may feel as though you are losing everything, but in truth, you are being freed from everything that restricted your ability to receive what you truly deserve. Each door that closes creates space for a greater opportunity to emerge. Every person who leaves your life makes room for deeper and more meaningful relationships. The universe is testing your faith, your ability to trust that there's a larger plan unfolding even when you can't see the full picture. It's also testing your capacity to remain calm when everything around you seems to be falling apart. The seventh and final sign is an unshakable sense that something extraordinary is about to happen in your life. This isn't blind hope or forced optimism. It's a profound certainty that comes from beyond your conscious mind. It feels as though your soul already understands something your personality has not yet realized. This feeling is not based on external evidence. On the outside, your life may appear ordinary or even difficult. But inwardly, there's an undeniable sense of anticipation you can't explain. It's as if you're carrying unseen possibilities that are still developing, but you know they are real. This inner certainty is the strongest indication that you've passed the final test, because only those deeply connected to their inner truth can sense the future before it appears. You're not imagining it. You are tuning into frequencies of a reality that's already being prepared for you. Carl Jung explained that the self, our deepest essence, exists beyond linear time and can perceive future potentials before they manifest. When you feel certain that something extraordinary is near, you're accessing the wisdom of that deeper self, which already knows what's ahead. This certainty may come with powerful synchronicities, prophetic dreams, or an unexplained peace even in hard times. At times, you may wake up with a new energy, as though something in the unseen field around you shifted overnight. The true test is whether you can hold on to this certainty, even when your external life hasn't yet caught up with what you feel inside. The universe is seeing if you can maintain an elevated vision of your life before it shows up in physical form. When you hold steady to this inner faith, you become magnetic to experiences aligned with that higher frequency. You begin attracting everything that resonates with this deep knowing that something remarkable is unfolding. If you recognize yourself in most of these signs, pause and reflect on how significant this truly is. You're not simply enduring a hard phase. You're not being tested without purpose. You're being prepared to receive all that you deserve. The universe is applying the final test to ensure you are ready to consciously handle this level of abundance and fulfillment. The final test isn't about proving your worth. You've always been worthy. It's about showing that you've gained the mastery needed to co-create a higher reality with full awareness. It's about proving that you can keep your high frequency even under pressure. that you can trust the process even when you don't fully grasp what's happening. Every sign you notice is evidence that you're operating at a higher state of awareness. You're not like most people who simply react to outside influences. You've built the capacity to pause, reflect, and consciously choose your response to life. This test is not something you can prepare for with study. There's no guidebook or formula. It's a natural assessment of your growth as a human being. It's the universe asking if you've truly embodied the lessons you claim to have learned. If you've genuinely become the person you aspire to be, the reason only a small fraction of people recognize. These signs is that most are still functioning at levels of consciousness where these kinds of tests don't appear. They're still learning more basic lessons about responsibility, self-awareness, and integrity. You've already moved through those stages and are now being measured at a far more advanced level. When you pass the final test, you don't receive a certificate or award. What you gain is much more meaningful. You gain the reality you always believed was possible. You gain the life you always felt you were meant to live. You gain the freedom to be your true self without hiding or holding back. At this stage, the universe trusts you enough to allow access to dimensions of creation and manifestation that are closed to those who lack the maturity to manage such power. You become a conscious co-creator of reality, someone who can actively shape their life experience through the quality of their awareness. So, if you recognize these signs, don't view them as setbacks. See them as proof that you're exactly where you should be. Each challenge is a chance to show your mastery. Each challenge you face is a chance to prove to yourself how much you've grown. The extraordinary feeling approaching your life isn't just imagination. It's a reality being prepared for you. Because you've become the kind of person who can receive it, appreciate it, and use it with intention. These tests appear because you are now ready for stages of life most people cannot even picture. What feels like a final test from the universe is actually an invitation. An invitation to step into your role as a conscious co-creator of your reality. An invitation to live at the level your soul has always known was possible. An invitation to receive everything you're worthy of, not through pleading, but by becoming someone who can respect and expand this gift. Every part of your journey has prepared you for this moment. Every lesson, every challenge, every joy, and every struggle was a step that led you here. Now the universe is simply checking if you're ready for the next level. And by the signs you've noticed, you already know you are. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust the wisdom of the universe that has never abandoned you and never given you more than you could carry. You're being tested because you are unique. You're being prepared because you're worthy. And soon, you'll see that every challenge was worthwhile when you finally receive what you've always felt was meant for you. This final test is nearly complete. Graduation is close. And beyond it, an extraordinary life is waiting. If you recognize yourself in these words, if it feels as though I've spoken directly to your soul, then I need to share something that can greatly accelerate this transformation. I've created exclusive material called 21 Days of Transformation with Carl Jung's teachings. It's a complete ebook that guides you step by step through Jung's most powerful practices to face this final test and emerge as your most authentic self. This is not just another ebook. It's 21 days of practical exercises, deep reflections, and insights designed to help you recognize when life is testing you, to transform resistance into resilience, to consciously integrate your shadow, to manifest the reality your soul has always believed in, to navigate the individuation process without losing your center. If you want to move beyond theoretical understanding and live this transformation in practice, the link is in the first pinned comment. And now, I want to know who stayed until the very end. Write in the comments, I'm ready for the final test. This will show me you're not just another viewer, but someone truly dedicated to their transformation. Remember, only 1% of people pass the final test. Not because it's impossible, but because most give up before discovering who they truly are. You didn't arrive here by chance. Your soul led you to this message because you're prepared for the next stage. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for being one of the rare souls who refuses to give up at the first obstacle. I'll see you in the next video.